Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today I have something really fun for you. It is this fabulous, amazing super chicken that we are going to be painting together today. I'm going to break down how you can create this chicken for yourself at home step by step. I'm going to explain to you how to draw him, but no worries, you don't have to draw. I also provide a traceable that you can use if you're not ready for the drawing yet, and I'm going to show you how to paint him step by step. To help me do that is my husband, John.
Super chicken!
He is going to make sure that the camera is pointing at what I'm talking about, what I'm teaching, what I'm describing, so you can really see what's going on. Because what you can see, you can generally paint along at home. Now, this chicken, cute as he is, and he probably just called you from the algorithm and said, come paint me. But maybe you came in for that. But he's actually part of a 31-day painting challenge called Acrylic August, where we meet up every day from August 1st to August 31st and do a different daily painting. I'm so excited about that. Now, there's a bunch of information in the description down below, the link to the traceable, the materials, link to the website, other stuff that you need to know, link to the art store. So if you need to, like maybe you're out of a color or you need a brush, those are available for you in the art store. And really, I can't think of anything else. Right. I think I've said all the things.
We should get into it.
We should just get into it. So get your paint, get your brushes, come back. I'm going to show you how to paint this funny chicken. So for today's class, I've got an 8x8 canvas, and on my palette, I have these colors: Mars Black, Burnt Sienna, Yellow Ochre, Cad Yellow Medium, Cad Red Medium, Quinacridone Magenta, Dioxazine Purple, and I have Titanium White. So those are our colors. I think we should just jump on into step one.
Step one.
Step one is going to be so fun because it's paint the canvas black. That's right. It's a black canvas day. I love black canvas days. Now I'm going to just put paint from my tube right onto my canvas to paint it out, but you could do it from your palette. You don't have to do what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is silly. It's silly.
I like how it goes out when you do it this way.
I'm just like squeezing a little out.
Right,
you can tell that I'm like low on black paint.
I'm going to ask a question for the peoples at home. So if you were at the local store, and you found one of these that was pre-blacked, could you just use one of those? Like the way they sell them where it's just a black canvas?
Yes. In fact, I highly recommend it because they use a better gesso. They use a black colored gesso, and they use a better quality of gesso for the black canvases and the color canvases than for the white. I don't know why. I have not gotten a satisfactory answer as to why that's true, but I'm going to guess that it's just that the only black gesso out there is a higher quality.
Gotcha.
And there's some really inexpensive white gessos, so people can be like, let's save money with the gesso. I wish I could come into those meetings, those corporate meetings, when they're like, let's save money with the gesso, and then go, no, don't do it there. So I'm just making sure that my canvas is thoroughly black. So I go back and forth, up and down, just making sure everything is worked in. Now, a lot of people like to paint the edges, and that is completely, totally okay. I would recommend that you at least come around the sides so that when you frame, there isn't a white strip of paint that's showing. All right, so that's a fairly solid black canvas. I used a 1-inch oval mop to paint that out. That's what this brush was. Let me show you guys again. This is a 1-inch oval mop. It's just a big brush that I could paint it out with. And I just started with the Mars Black. So I'm going to put this to the side, and we're going to dry this thoroughly so we can either use the traceable or freehand in. I'm going to freehand in. Next up, you'll be using the traceable. So let's dry it and come back. I'll show you what we do next. So I want to give you a couple tips before I start sketching this in. Tip one is you want your canvas completely dry and cool, not warm, because when it's warm, it's soft, right? So you want your canvas completely dry and cool to transfer either the traceable onto your canvas, which you would be doing right now if you're not drawing with me, or if you're going to sketch in like I am using a chalk pencil. I'm going to use a Stabilo chalk pencil. You could use the Dritz chalk tool. You could use the Credit Color chalk pencil. Just any chalk pencil or chalk tool will work.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But the trick is you need to have it be cool and dry so it doesn't press in or leave marks that you can't get rid of.
And it's a thorough dry because
it's a thorough. It takes a second
because it can skin where just the top of it will dry, and then it's not really dry.
You should be okay if you give it a good dry and let it cool down, and it should feel like very, very dry to your hand, but it should also be cool to your... Yeah, don't use heat because it also softens the acrylic. All right, I'm going to put my little drawing tools on, and I'm going to begin to sketch in my chicken.
Draw the chicken.
I'm going to draw the chicken.
Now, you can trace the chicken if you have the chicken traceable.
If you have the chicken traceable, I'm making a little upward curve line for the beak. He's got this fabulous little nostril. Definitely want that in there. Bring a little open mouth back.
Just drawing the rooster.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, is we're just drawing the rooster. Sometimes I will see something and be like, oh, no, I don't like that, and then change it.
That's why you do it at this stage.
You got to do it at this stage.
It would be much harder if you painted all that and then just
change your mind. It's much more difficult. Have a little waddle come down here. Let me change chalk pencils. Sometimes what happens is as you're drawing, the canvas starts to polish the chalk. And it makes it resist the chalk. Resist the chalk. Now we definitely want to have this interesting little waddle that comes up as a little horn. And there's another little waddle that comes up as a little horn. And then here we've got a nice little chicken eye. So this is a very funny chicken, but this is a real chicken. It's a real kind of chicken. You know. This is an exotic chicken.
It's a Veloci chicken.
It's a Veloci chicken. Really capturing that nostril there. Making sure that that goes up. And there's this great run of feathers we're going to get to play with here.
You know, if chickens were any bigger, they would be
a problem for us all.
Yeah, it's a good thing they're the size they are, because you made a chicken the size of an ostrich and you'd be like, whoa.
I'm going to make some little downward marks just to show the feathers are going down, because they have these like weird little necks, and then give myself some little lines to sort of follow. Little feathers that come around the face. Whoosh. Make the noise with me. Whoosh.
Make some feathers.
Pick some feathers.
Gotta shake your tail feathers.
Gotta shake your tail feathers. Gotta shake your tail feathers. All right. I'm gonna get... let's come back for the next step.
All right.
Wasn't actually going anywhere. We're just going on to the next step. So this is a number 6 Raphael Sepia. And I'm going to start kind of blocking in some basic chicken. I'm going to actually do an interesting thing for the waddle. I'm going to take a little bit of my dioxazine purple into my cad red. And that's how I'm going to make my dark part of the waddle. The dark part of the waddle. I'm going to come here and make sure that I paint in a nice little comb up here. I love how it's like two-pronged and pointed up. I think that's really funny. Like really, really funny. Come around here. We got feathers that we're going to be sticking out everywhere. Now there's a little bit of this around the eye. And a little bit coming down the beak here. Get a little water sometimes to improve the flow. Paint. I'm going to paint this kind of waddle here. Waddle, 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 waddle. What's the good news is like your traceable is based off of my final painting. Right. So you're always where I am. But I'm not always where I'm going to be.
You're on the journey.
I'm on the journey. I am on the journey. I'm going to bring a little bit of some peeking waddle over here. Peek the waddle. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my quinacridone magenta and my yellow ochre. And paint the inside of the mouth. Now, if you're painting very inexpensive paint, you may have to do a couple coats to get the colors to show. That is not uncommon. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of my yellow ochre and titanium white. Basis for the beak. Laying in a chicken comes in pretty fast.
Right.
Paint that there.
The under chicken.
Under chicken. This is the under chicken. That's right. Sounds like a wrestling name. The under chicken. All right. So once I have that sort of beak in there, then I can come back and kind of finish out the waddle. There you go, the outer lip. Point it, point it, point it. We gotta have an exaggerated little pointy beak. Why? Because it's awesome. On the outside here. There you go. A little bit of a pointed beak there. Now inside the eye, I'm going to take a little bit of my cad red and my cad yellow, and it's going to be just orange right now. A little bit of an orange beak.
Is that not his eyeball?
That's his eyeball.
That's
I don't know why I said beak. It's eyeball.
I think
good catch.
That orange is the fear of that's just in their eyes. It's just built into them. That when you look in there, you can see the fear.
No, that's the rage. That's the chicken rage. He's no fear.
No, I'm just like he instills.
Chicken
fear.
is proud and calling to the sky.
No, I didn't say he was afraid of chicken. He instills that. That's the fear that he puts in people.
Oh, that's how he creates fear.
He's pushing that. The fear comes from that orange. Ooh.
I'm just making sure that my waddle's all tucked into my beak structure and everything.
Maybe I just
makes sense there. All right, let's dry all that under painted face. When we come back, I'll show you what we do next. Now I need to get some of the feathers, these background feathers in, and they're a lot of fun colors. And I'm going to just start with a little bit of my cad red and my cad yellow to make an orange. I'm going to make a bright orange. I'm using a number 8 Raphael d'Artagnan brush. It's just a hog bristle round. But you don't have to have exactly this brush. You could have a synthetic round, but I kind of want the fluffiness. I'm going to take my orange over to my brown. I'm going to come here. Very carefully. Come around that beak. I'm going to get a little bit of black in my next thing, but it's kind of oranged. I come right here. Right up into it. Right up into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then down here. So that these dark feathers. Let's go ahead and do a couple dark feathers. Get right back into my little brown orange. Just a little bit of energetic off the page. Energetic. And come around the waddle pretty carefully. A little more water on my brush. Take my brown over to my orange. Take my brown over to my orange. It's looking pretty good. Coming off there. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow ochre and my titanium white. And I'm going to make kind of a off-white feather. Make sure we've got some of that. Just bring that down a little bit. Should be very exaggerated. Very fascinating, you know? All right, let's dry everything and I'll show you what we're going to do next. So now I want to add some feathers over here. I'm going to come back in and get a little bit of my orange on there. That's fun. And I'm going to start to paint the little feathers that are going to be coming down off the neck. These are kind of bright orange right now. Let's grab a little bit of our brown. I'm going to bring this all the way up here. A little more brown. This is just burnt sienna. And we are going to make sure these feathers down here are nice and bright. Just grabbing color. I'm going to do something kind of wild over the orange to make it show. Yeah, because we're on a black canvas. I'm going to do some color surprises.
Oh.
Yeah, we like color surprises, don't we?
I do.
I do too. Grab a little bit of the brown just to make sure that there's the beginnings of some feathers. Get a little orange here. Kind of blend that in. It's the beginning of something kind of fun there. Come off here. Flick that off. Kind of got a little red into it. See how we're getting a little red into it?
I do.
And it's this very sharp flick. And really, we've got to dry it, and I'll show you what we do next. So now I'm going to take a number 0 round. I just wanted a tiny round. And I'm going to start playing with my beak and my waddle and all of that. I'm going to grab a little bit of white and some yellow over here. I'm going to come in and start to paint the detailing. On the little beak here. I like to highlight the little lip here. And I want to come in and grab a little brown and black. A little more black. Blend that all in. Gonna rinse off my brush a little bit and come back and get my little beak color. Kind of blend these two areas with the brush on the canvas. Then we're going to grab a little bit of our quinacridone and our yellow ochre. It's kind of a warm pink. Oh, there we go. Find that color. So I just came over to the yellow ochre and the white. I just dry brush it through here, but not heavily. Just a little bit of dusting. Then I'm going to grab a little of my red and purple over here. I haven't rinsed my brush. I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow. Just sort of to show the throat opening up and carrying that through. Rinse my brush out, come back to my beak color, and I'm just little short marks. A little highlight on that there. Okay, let's call that a step. And let's go on right here. I'm going to switch over to my number 6 Raphael Sepia round. And I'm going to grab a little of my Cad Red and Quinacridone Magenta. I'm going to tap up and down inside the confines of the Waddle. I let some of the background color show. Wiggle my brush around because the Waddle has lots of little bumples. And I want to kind of capture the little bumples. Now I can get into my darker red around here. This is the red with a little bit of purple in it. And back into my bright red, just playing along. Just a happy little Waddle. Waddle is very rich. Give the Waddle all the wealth it wants. Color and richness. Now I'm going to grab a little of my white. I'll highlight Waddle. A little bit there. Along here. Little painting of the waddle there. And like where I want to blend it in, and just come back with my brush there and see, kind of keep that from being like all right. Let's dry everything with our hair dryer. So I'm going to want to take my zero round, my Raphael Precision zero round. It's just a tiny little detail round. I'm going to thin some black paint with water. Just take a drop of water over it and work it into the paint. And I'm going to load the tip of my brush. And I'm going to come and kind of outline the outside of the eye. And I'm going to add pupil inside the eye. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to grab a little bit of my yellow orange. And add a bright little pop of yellow in the eye. And a little orange around this upper end. And while this is having a moment, I'm going to come and... Actually, I don't think I'm going to thin the white. I think what I'm going to use, just for the ease of this lesson, is my fluid acrylic. So this is just like this, but the body of the paint. The consistency of the paint is different. So I can do this instead of thinning my white paint with water. If you don't want to do that, you just thin your white paint with water and you'll be fine. I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of white on here. I'm tapping up a little bit of highlight along the waddle. This is where the waddle comes to life.
It's the details.
It really is, because it shows the highlights on the waddle. Little details up the waddle. Just barely like a finest line there on that little edge. Nice little line there on that little edge. The waddle. The comb. Whatever it is. I'm going to be saying some wrong chicken thing, rooster thing, and somebody's going to be like in the comments going crazy.
Yes, we're not chicken experts here.
Like, I mean, I had some chickens when I was young, but I just had Rhode Island Reds, and I had kind of won one chicken in a raffle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just ended up with some other chickens after that. I don't really understand why. And they lived on an island on our pond. It was my job to row out and feed them, but like that's my whole chicken experience, which is like, I guess, more than a lot of modern people.
I have less chicken experience than that.
I thought your uncle had some like crazy rooster.
Yes, on his, farm thing that, they lived on, and I occasionally went to, but did not have, significant chicken interaction. Other than, you've got chickens. That's
wild.
Yeah, there's chickens.
There's chickens here. All right, so I'm adding a little bit of like white spotting in here just to show a little bit of the waddle is. Got reflections down in here. Just a little bit of reflection. You got to reflect on what you've done. I think chickens are a super good thing to paint. They're incredible models. They have so much personality. I don't know why anybody like ever picks on chickens because they're so fantastic. I'm gonna take a little bit of white right here. Make sure that is at a good point.
I think the primary problems that chickens have going for them is they're tasty.
That is a big problem for the chickens.
I'm not saying everybody eats the chicken, but those of us who do know it's tasty.
It's a tasty chicken.
Tasty chickens.
Tasty chickens are good chickens.
Sorry guys.
Gonna get a little bit of my cad red, or cad yellow, and I don't mind if I pick up a little bit of my dioxazine purple in here so it kind of makes it off color. I'm going to come up to the top of my eye, and that's going to be kind of a darker color.
Also,
because a lot of times that's in shadow.
You know what I was
rinse.
Really happy to learn?
Okay.
Is that there's working chickens.
Working chickens, I'm going to grab a little bit of white and make 2 highlights. Tell me about these working chickens.
They eat the bugs and clean up all sorts of stuff on farms.
I think he's a working chicken.
I think he's a working chicken. He's not, his job on there is to, like, clean the underbrush of ticks and bugs that could cause problems for the other animals.
Taking dioxazine purple and cad red together.
That's like legit.
It is legit. And I'm going to make a little bit of an even darker. Kind of bring a little line up in the middle of his little mouth. Just so that, because they have those weird mouth teeth, but I'm not going to paint the mouth teeth. Mouth teeth are too much. Whoa, look at this chicken.
That's a chicken.
This is a chicken, right? We've got a gorgeous, gorgeous chicken here. Chicken good. All right, let's dry everything. So I'm going to come back with my number 8 Raphael d'Artagnan brush. This is the Hog Bristle Round, right? So when you go into an art store, I highly recommend this one, but if you're in a different area, you can't find this brand, what you're looking for is a brush made with hog boar bristles. So they're a natural brush. Sometimes people come into an art store and say, I need a hog brush. And the sales associate looks like they don't know what that is. I don't know why they don't know what that is. It's a pretty common thing to call it, but that happens a lot. So just be more specific. Hog bristle brush if you're not easily getting help to find it. Now, I want to do a very dark area here, which would be black, but I don't want it to be black. So I'm going to take a little bit of my white, smidge, over to my purple. And I need a purple that's, yes, it's dark. It's super dark, but it's vibrant enough to show up against the black background. So adding a little bit of white to it will help me do that.
That's deep purple.
It's a deep purple. Flip that here, and these are little feathers that are deep purple.
Yeah, that's incredible purple. I'm like,
yeah, it's very purple.
I had to like do a double check over here, looking over to make sure that like my color correction was like, man, that's a crazy purple chicken.
It's a crazy purple chicken. Purple chicken is wild.
This is nature's way of saying, stand back.
I'm a crow.
Well, again, I go back to that. If one of these Veloci chickens stood tall enough to look you square in the eye, it would be a different conversation.
Oh yeah, it would be a very scary color. I would go. I would be running, and I think the chicken would be faster than me, which is just also scary.
I think at this point it's got everything on you.
So I'm going to grab a little bit more white. And dust like a little highlight here. Just lightly highlight the edges there. Almost kind of a dry brush. I could have done a blue-green here as well. That would have been really, really doable. I'm also going to take a little bit of my purple, come up here very, very, very carefully.
See, in my mind, he gets all of these fabulous colors from the beetles that he eats. Nom, nom,
Yes,
nom, nom,
nom, nom, nom, beetles. Kind of bring some little hairs back that way, feathers back that way. So we're just making sure we got some little purple feather that goes up.
I imagine it's evolution and all sorts of complicated genetics that actually cause these beautiful colors.
I'm going to also add some dark purple feathers over here.
Although flamingos do turn pink from eating shrimp.
That's true.
So maybe my Velocichicken beetle theory isn't so far off.
I like putting some like color surprises in there because that really just get some dark purple. And what's interesting is we're going to be doing some little feathers that go over the eye in a funny way. So I want to get the purple feathers definitely painted in here before I curl the other ones. He's looking so funny. So I'm going to curl some feathers around him. That's just hysterical. Okay. Because it's purple and I'm going to be kind of going into some oranges and stuff, I'm going to have to dry it to even layer it. So I'm going to come back with my number 6 Raphael round and I'm going to get some orange. It's okay if it gets a little bit toned with purple. Grade a little bit. And I'm going to come right here. And flick a couple of little feathers there that are like his little eyebrows. Just going off like that. I really love it. It was like one of the things that kind of convinced me that I've got to do this. I'm going to put that brush down. And I'm going to come through here and I'm going to grab maybe a little bit of my yellow ochre and some titanium white. And I'm going to flick some little feathers here. Just a little bit. He's saying yes. Yes, definitely. Take a little bit of my cad yellow and my cad red. Just a little bit of that crown going around. I'm going to get some just red. Just capturing that energy going around. Some burnt sienna. So some of the trick of this is mixing in like colors you'd expect to have in there with the unexpected. And get a little bit more of my cad red, cad yellow. Grab a little bit of my burnt sienna and my cad red. And we're going to have the little curled feathers that sort of come around. I might need to add a little water to my brush to improve flow. I'm going to go ahead and brush a little bit of this color right there so there's a little blend. Let's dry everything and we'll come back and do another layer. So I want to come and add some of the lighter feathers through here, and I'm going to do those with a mixture of cad yellow and yellow ochre together. And then we're going to even add in some like version of this that has some white in it. Put some of this like dark color here and there. These little highlights. Go ahead and get a little white into that. Make sure that those feathers are get a little white. Just a little bit of crazy feathers going everywhere. Such a colorful little crown.
Mm-hmm.
Come back, and I think I want to orange back into here, so I'm going to take a little bit of my cad yellow and my cad red. A little bit of orange here just to brighten this up. A little cad red to cad yellow to make orange. Just throwing it everywhere. He's having him a day, isn't he? Make sure that this goes around the edges so it looks like it leads to a body, chicken body. You gotta lead to a chicken body. More orange. Gotta find the thickness, you know? Red. Grab a little bit of that yellow ochre and cad yellow. This chicken is the color of a sunset.
It is. It's a super chicken.
I wonder what they will name him in the patron group.
I don't know.
I let my patrons name all the paintings so that when we make mini books or we have chapters in the Acrylic April book, they end up having the naming credits in there. And we just kind of do it randomly. And it's some of the names are so brilliant.
Yeah.
If you've never noticed to look for that, definitely look for that because it's extraordinary.
Really, really good.
Going to use a little bit of the white into here. Make sure that that's nice and curled around. So it's a phew. Phew. Take a little bit of white over to my yellow, which is the cad yellow and the yellow ochre. There we go. He's got his little... He's not judgy. What do you think he is? I usually do them judgy, but I don't feel like he's judgy. I feel like he's electric. All right, I'm pretty happy.
More of a party chicken.
He's a party chicken, right? He's a definite party chicken. I love what's going on with him. I'm very fond of this. I might take a little purple and kind of touch in some... This is a little bit of my purple and red and just kind of make sure that I've got some dark feathers. Amongst the purple ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little something. You touch up till you just feel like you found your perfect chicken. When you feel like you found your perfect chicken, you know what you do? You sign it.
Perfect.
A perfect chicken. I don't know if he's really a perfect chicken, but he's the perfect chicken for today. I'm going to grab a little bit of my purple and red color over here and take it over to my white, or my white over to it. And I'll just get a purple color to sign. I like to pick colors that I use in the painting, and I try to pick stuff that won't pull away from the whole painting as a design mistake. Just a little signature at the end. Well, now that we're finished, I'm going to tell you what we do next. Well, I hope that you found your chicken, what John's calling super chicken.
Super chicken.
Super chicken, as enjoyable and fun as I did. Again, I like to make these mid-month paintings have something delightful and happy in them, so that when you're in that mid-month fatigue, that you've got something that just kind of re-energizes you. I think that joy and kindness and happiness, those are the kinds of ways I like to be energized. So that's how I try to energize you guys, is with stuff that's really fun. So I really enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to see yours. Now I have a group, the Acrylic April group on Facebook. It's a group just for this challenge. We're doing it in August this year, but normally we do it in April. And it's a great place to share your paintings. It's a great place because people are kind, because you have so many people who went from not being able to paint to this is their 5th year. So they have such great advice and such encouragement, because, you know, people's paintings are treated like they're important. I really like the group, and we do curate it, like we approve posts and stuff like that. So we keep it a nice place to be. So I highly recommend that. If say you did this in watercolor, since that's an acrylic group, you could come by the Art Sherpa Official and share it there. The Art Sherpa Official is where people share paintings that they do with me the whole rest of the year. So you can share in both groups as much as you want. They're both fun. They both have different vibes, but they both have friendly, fun vibes. So you'll feel good there. If you're not on Facebook because you don't love it, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's Pinterest, hashtag Acrylic August, hashtag the Art Sherpa, and I will be there. Description down below has links to those different places that I'm talking about, and the playlist for the whole challenge. I just want to see yours. I hope you're doing great. I can't wait to see what he's named. I can't wait to see what you do. I want you to be good to yourselves and be good to each other, and I will see you at an easel real soon. Bye-bye.